Guys, so today I've got what I kind of call sad news about the brand Paula's Choice. A lot of you already have heard this, and I wasn't going to make a video about it, but I decided to anyway. Paula's Choice, skincare brand. That brand was sold to a small, private equity group several years ago. I don't exactly remember how much. Several years ago, and now that private equity group has sold Paula's Choice to Unilever for $2 billion. Which is sad because I really am not a big fan of Unilever. Generally, giant corporations like that, I'm just not huge fans of. They just don't do as much for the world community as a whole as smaller brands do. In fact, these large brands like Unilever, Procter & Gamble, Nestle, they just do a lot to ravage communities, countries, the environment as a whole, and generally small little brands that I like Geek and Gorgeous for one. They're like a smaller brand. They have a passion. They employ people. They put generally a lot of times consumers ahead of profits. They take more interest in the consumers outcomes of using their products. They have a vested interest in that, as opposed to giant corporations where their vested interest is in only one thing, which is making money. That's it. Nothing matters. It does not matter if it does not make them a big profit. They're not going to do it. That is their only goal and interest. Which, I mean, I get it. It's kind of capitalism, I guess, as a whole. But that's why I choose generally when I can. I'd much rather support a smaller brand, which generally employs a few people, not a whole ton of them. They generally, a lot of times, treat their employees better than a giant corporation does. And a giant corporation can, because a giant corporation only exists to make money. So their employees are just little minions, facets to make more money, which is not always a bad thing. But some of these big brands are just not great. Nestle is one of them. I'm not a huge fan of them. Although, you know what? When it comes to almost, the statistic was 80% of the things you buy in purchase go to one of these big Procter & Gamble or Nestle. Almost Coca-Cola is another one of them. It's like most of the things you spend your money on go to one of these big brands in one way or another. Like Nestle, you think of chocolate, but they also own all these water things and a lot of giant things. They're giant corporations. So that's why when I can, I'd rather support a small brand that actually helps their employees. They care about the customer experience. But when it comes to these big brands, they don't make 1 cent doing it. They're not going to do it. And that's all it comes down to, which when I come to Unilever, they just don't have a great track record in terms of a lot of things, such as treating people, the environment, and a lot of other things. They just don't have a great track record. They've done so many things. I mean, especially when you talk about the palm oil fields in Indonesia, which were being deforested at 2% a year. 2%, that equals in a few years, you're not going to have anything. They just deforest them, ravage them. The palm oil fields, that's just scratching the surface on that. I could probably make an entire month-long series about what happens on these palm oil fields. But anyway, Unilever is a big one that is causing this deforestation. They're also cited as one of the top 10 global plastic polluters. They try and help their image by saying that they're going to have their non-recycled plastic pollution and things like that. But to be honest, they don't care. As long as they look a little bit better, that's what they're after. They don't really genuinely care, because a corporation doesn't have a soul as much like a person running a small business does. It's all about money. And I can get even deeper into that. Unilever also was fined hugely, $104 million by the European Commission for price fixing products. So that's when they talked out their brands. They did this along with Procter & Gamble and Henkel, where they said, hey, don't sell that dishwashing detergent for less than $5, and I won't either, and you don't. And the three of us, we're going to keep it at least $5. And so they price fix it, and then consumers get screwed in the end. So they're fined for doing that. And then the biggest thing that gets me is that they really were trying to campaign for this skin whitener product. And a gal said, I'm not going to promote it. I don't want to promote it. I don't believe in it. And they were trying to get her fired from her job for her beliefs. Crazy. So I don't like the fact that these corporations go in and try and destroy lives just picking on some person for her belief, which is, you know what, you're all entitled to your own beliefs. So why should some giant multi-million-dollar corporation try and come in and destroy your entire future and career and name by doing that? So thankfully, I've been able to find most alternatives for most Paula's Choice products. I haven't been a huge, crazy Paula's Choice fan for a couple of years, although when Paula's Choice was in control of this brand, they did some amazing things and created some great products. But now that a giant corporation is over them, running them, I think the quality will probably go down, the price will probably go up. Who knows? Maybe they'll price fix it and get fined again. I don't know, but if you're using Paula's Choice, they do still have some great products. Their retinol's great. I urge you to find some alternatives that work for you in the case that they do raise prices and lower quality to make more money, which is what the only thing they're after. So anyway, it's kind of turned into a rant. I didn't really mean it to, but it's just sad that all these brands just eventually get owned by one of the big six, and then there are fewer and fewer small brands. But thankfully, every freaking day there's probably 10 new skincare brands or probably 100 new skincare brands put on the market. So it's not like there's a lack of choice out there. So there definitely is. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Leave your comments below. I'm interested in hearing from you guys, and I will see you more later. Thank you so much.